Hello and welcome to Wisdom from the Word. This is episode 125, entitled A Very Bad Day. I do want to say I hope you're all staying warm out here. This really cold weather around here is kind of interesting. We've been having 2-hour delays at school, which I don't mind as a teacher, but I hope you're staying warm and I hope you'll receive a blessing from today's devotional. As I said, it's entitled A Very Bad Day. There was a book and a movie done years ago called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It was about this young boy who got up and all throughout the day, one bad thing happened after another, after another, after another. And so he said, I had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Did you ever have a day like that? I'm sure if we're honest, we've all had at least one day like that, if not more. Maybe you got a diagnosis of cancer or some other disease, or a loved one that you care about got that diagnosis. Maybe a loved one passed away suddenly, or even over a period of time, and that day they passed away. Maybe there was a broken relationship. Maybe you lost a job. But something happened on that bad day, and you remember it. Well, we're going to look at a man in the Bible who had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And his name was Job. So if you want to turn there to Job chapter 1, Job is described in the Bible as a man that was perfect and upright, one that feared God and eschewed evil. Perfect means he was blameless. He had a good testimony. He shunned evil. He did what was right. He feared God. So this wasn't a man who was living in major sin. He was trying to do what was right. And he was a very wealthy man. And wealth at that time was primarily with the amount of animals and land that you had more than money. And he had major losses in one day. If you look there at verse 13, before this, Satan went to God and asked if he could tempt or test Job. He said, the only reason he's serving you is because you give him everything. He said, if I take it all away, we'll see if he serves you. So verse 13, and there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So here we see he lost 500 yoke of oxen and 500 female donkeys. If you look there in verse 16, the fire of God has fallen, burned up the sheep. That's 7,000 sheep. If you look in verse 17, while he was yet speaking, there came also another. The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, fell upon the camels, carried them away. So he lost 3,000 camels. And while he was yet speaking, there came another. Verse 18 says, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So now he lost all his children, 10 children. And it's interesting in those verses, it says, while he was yet speaking. So one messenger comes and gives bad news. And while he's talking, another one's coming, and another one. It's just piling on top of each other. And of course, through all of this, servants are being killed. That's a lot. You're losing all your possessions, like you're bankrupt, basically. And then all your children are killed in one fell swoop. Wow. That's a horrible, terrible, no good, very bad day. But look at his reaction. Look at verse 20. Then Job arose and rent his mantle, which means tore his robe, shaved his head, that's a sign of mourning, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped, and said, naked came out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Wow. That's his reaction to losing pretty much everything in his life. He worshipped. He said, the Lord has given, he's taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And I think of years ago when my niece, who was 22 years old, found out that she had cancer. In fact, I don't even think she was quite 22. But anyhow, she was in her 20s, and she found out that she had cancer. And she was talking to me one time. She goes, I don't say, why me? I say, why not me? Why shouldn't I have cancer? Why do I think that I'm better than somebody else? And that really struck me. She had the proper attitude. And Job doesn't say, why me here? He said, the Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Well, his bad day went on in chapter 2. It continued on to another time where Satan wanted to test him again. And he gave him boils. If you look there in verse 7, so Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. Wow. I remember my dad getting boils. I remember one time he had one in his neck and it was huge and it was sore, very painful. We had him everywhere. So now his health is gone. And his wife's not much help because she said, curse God and die. And look at his reaction. Chapter 2, verse 10. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God? And shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. Wow, look at the reaction that he had. Now, most people, experts say that this went on for probably about a year and a half, 18 months, where he had lost everything. His children are gone and his health is gone. And then he has these friends come and they're not very good comforters. And he does ask some questions of God. Why this is happening when I'm serving you. I don't think it's wrong to ask questions. God doesn't usually rebuke people necessarily for asking questions. It's what our attitude is in the response that comes. Are we questioning because we're discontented, because we have a rebellious attitude? Yeah, then it's wrong. But if we're questioning because we want to try to understand God's plan, but he may not reveal anything to us right away. He may want us to walk by faith. But through all that questioning, I love Job 23:10. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So what day, or maybe month or year, are you going through right now? Is it something painful? Is it something hard to understand? Does it seem as if it will never end? Go to the Lord. Go to his word. Pray and ask. Seek answers. There's nothing wrong with that, but have a willing heart to accept the answer no matter what it is. Also, through all this, God is going to give us the strength for each day. Deuteronomy 33:25 says, as thy days, so shall thy strength be. Now, we know Job's situation was changed. If you read the end of the book, he was restored. He had double. He got more children. Our situations are going to change too. That's something we need to hold on to. Now, we would pray that they would change in this life, but we know that if we're a Christian, they are going to change in heaven. There will be no more sickness. There will be no more financial problems. There will be no more death, etc. We will live in heaven eternally. So when you're having that terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, remember that God is right there with you. He has an eternal purpose for that. Maybe he's trying to get you to come back to the Lord. Maybe you're not walking with the Lord. Maybe he's trying to increase your faith. He knows what he's doing. He can refine us and make us like gold. And we have to remember that this will end. This isn't going to last forever. And he will give you the strength. We need to depend on his strength. So those days will come. They have come and they probably will come in the future. But as Job responded, we can respond too. We can respond in worship and in trust. I'm going to close by reading a well-loved hymn, Day by Day. Day by day, and with each passing moment, strength I find to meet my trials here. Trusting in my Father's wise bestowment, I've no cause for worry or for fear. He whose heart is kind beyond all measure gives unto each day what he deems best. Lovingly it's part of pain and pleasure, mingling toil with peace and rest. Every day the Lord himself is near me, with a special mercy for each hour. All my cares he fain would bear and cheer me, he whose name is Counselor and Power. The protection of his child and treasure is a charge that on himself he laid. As thy days, thy strength shall be in measure. This the pledge to me he made. Help me then in every tribulation so to trust thy promises, O Lord, that I lose not faith's sweet consolation, offered me within thy holy word. Help me, Lord, when toil and trouble meeting, ere to take as from a father's hand, one by one the days, the moments fleeting, till I reach the promised land. So yes, we will have those bad days, but God is with us every day. God bless you. I'll see you next time.